Okay, we're back live. So let's make this part 2 since I got disconnected and it took forever to come back online. I just want to make sure that the chat is working properly. Bear with me. Bummer. When you're in the mood of the game and all that. Okay, let's try this then. Failed to send message. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Okay, so for a while I won't be able to see the chat, I'm afraid. Unless... Sorry for the technical issues. I'm waiting for Streamlabs chatbot to be back live. Okay, there we go. Let's try this. All right, I see that. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now I can see the chat open, but it's not displaying on the stream. I don't know. Last time I could get it to work again, but this time I don't know how to get it to work again. Yeah, refresh the browser when the scene becomes active, it says, but I do that and it's not working. But anyway, maybe it'll fix itself over time like it does sometimes. Whatever. Okay. Well, let me pick up where I was because I couldn't really know when I got disconnected, so I'll start reading this again. I need my guide here. All right. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I say. What's the matter, you chicken? She says while glancing at me, but I can tell by the sound of her voice that she isn't feeling much better about this than I am. There's something wrong about this place and we all know it. We have to open the door. We can't turn back. It's a small room, one you'd find in a stone tower. It's empty and I can't find a single window in it. Okay. What the hell kind of room is this? Although she's trying to hide it, I notice a shiver running down Kit's spine. There may be something of use here. Let us search more closely, Magill says quietly. You really think we'll find something? Kit proceeds to the middle of the room while I examine the walls and floor. The stone floor is filled with countless scratches, covered by splotches of a dry, dark ink. Hey, Magill, would you come over here, please? Something is carved into the wall here. I think it's an inscription of some sort. Magill kneels down in front of the wall and examines the writing. Looking closer at it, it appears to be written in blood. Indeed, this text has been worn down with age. Most of it is unreadable. Here's what I can make out. Won't last much longer. Acacia Dragoons. Ni enchant sword order to proof. Without any warning, the door slams shut. We stand up, taken by surprise. Then suddenly, a low rumbling starts to fill the room. What's happening? Kit shouts, looking around frantically. What's that above us? Uh-oh. What now? There's no time to lose. Try to stop the ceiling. Break through the wall. Try to ram the door. It flies like an arrow, ramming against the door. Her small body bounces back. The door is far too heavy. Bollocks! Magill streaks across the room like a hurricane, dashing against the solid oak. The door creaks but holds tight. My turn. I ram into the door with all my strength. Arg! A heavy shock shoots through my body, but the door doesn't budge an inch. The rumbling continues to get louder and louder, reminding us of the rusty blades eager to greet us. Surge, Magil, come on, together! The three of us start to ram against the door simultaneously with all our strength. The door hinge gives. We stumble outside, barely escaping certain death. Behind us, we hear the gut-wrenching sound of the blades meeting the stone floor. I watch the morbid scene in a daze, gasping huge breath of air. Finally, the grinding sound fades away. It seems the ceiling has stopped. Damn, that Link's toying with us like that! So this is a torture chamber. I wonder how many of the Acacia Dragoons it has claimed, Magil whispers. Who? I ask. The Acacia Dragoons. They were once an elite force serving General Viper, a powerful man who used to rule the western territory of Gersbuul. They were defeated more than 10 years ago by the very hands of Lord Lynx. By the looks of things, we have apparently found their resting place. It's amazing how this little downloadable text adventure game that they made for the Super Famicom after the end of the lifespan of the system served as so much of the basis for the plot of Chrono Cross for the PS1. They reused practically every little detail of this story in some shape or form. Anyway. Who cares, says Kid as she stands up. Generals and knights and everything, it sounds like some old bedtime story. Magil shrugs his shoulders in silence as we start down the stairs, eager to get away from this awful place. With Kid leading the way, we descend the stairs. At the bottom of the staircase, a quite sturdy-looking door stands on the right. Well, I guess I still can't open it. Okay, proceed ahead to the terrace. After a little while, we come to a door on the left. Hey, yeah, RNG, how's it going? After a little while, we come to a door on the left. The terrace lies ahead. Proceed on towards the terrace, or open the door. Proceed on towards the terrace, I guess. After a short while, the terrace comes into view on the left. The cool evening air trickles in through the doorway, giving me a subtle reassurance. You're doing alright? That's good to hear. Proceed on through the hallway. After a while, the path splits into three directions. To the left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into darkness. Another passageway lies ahead. I think we have to take the stairs. As I start to slowly descend the stairs in the dim light, I stretch my hands out in front of me to try and feel for something. However, all I'm greeted with is the moist feeling of these creamy stone walls. Grimy, sorry. We've descended the staircase. To the left lies a huge stone archway, and to the right we can see a narrow path twisting into the darkness. Head right. The passageway makes a sharp turn to the right before stretching on through the subterranean maze. Before long, we're greeted with a beautifully ornate set of doors to the right. Go past these doors. These are the quarters of Riddell, Lynx's adopted daughter. Continue on through the passageway, right? Into Lynx's quarters. After a little while, the dark passageway ends at a polished, robust set of doors. Lynx's quarters. Oh man, I can feel Kit's blood boiling from here. Go into the room. Grimy. Creamy. Lynx's quarters. I sure hope that key is in here somewhere. But that mirror could tell us where it is, Kit says, removing its large silk cloth. The dark mirror looms before us like a still lake on a moonless evening. Is there something you wish to know? The Venus statue's reflection asks. Ask about Lynx. Ask where the treasure vault key is. Ask about Kit's measurements. Do I have to ask about this? No, okay. If you know where the key to the treasure vault is, could you please tell us? The mirror's surface begins to ripple. The whirling smoke soon takes shape into a picture of a large room decorated with rows and rows of books. In a beautiful womanly voice, the mirror responds, The key you seek, as you see before you, rests within this room. Towards the rear of this great sanctuary of knowledge, within a large purple book, you will find the item you so desire. The image slowly fades and returns to a normal reflection. The spirit has apparently moved to another mirror, Magil says. Okay, let's head for the study. As I head for the door, I suddenly get the feeling I'm being watched. I come to a stop and look around. Then suddenly, a faint whisper reaches my ears. Be careful, they know. Whose voice was that? It wasn't any of ours. The mirror? It wouldn't double-cross us, would it? Kid heads out the door, bolting down the corridor. I frantically chase after her, easily as eager as she is. What was that? Heading back, we travel through the passageway, eager to shake this feeling of dread. After walking a ways, we come to a beautifully decorated set of doors on the left. Leave the room, go up the stairs. Yeah, continue on through the passage. Eventually, we come to a branch. We see an upward staircase. Yeah, take the stairs. I follow Kid up the narrow set of stairs, hoping not to lose my balance. And proceed ahead. We've ascended the staircase. In front of us, path extends in 3 directions. To the left lies a dark corridor, and the right path leads out to the terrace. Proceed ahead towards the study. We head down the path. After a while, it ends at a stained wooden door. This is the study, I think. Go in. Okay, time to find that key, Kid says as she steps into the center of the room, surrounded by row after row of books. Where did that crazy mirror say we could find it? Hey, Serge, pay attention when I'm talking to ya. Huh? I thought you remembered which one it was. So, which is it? The purple book, he had said. The purple book in the back? I think that's it. Yeah, purple book in the back. I'm pretty sure it's that purple book over there, I think. Which one? Oh, I see it. Kit pulls out a purple book towards the bottom of the shelves. I watch closely as she opens it up. Flipping through the pages, suddenly an old brass key falls out of the book, hitting the ground with a clank. Alright, the key! Throwing the book aside, Kit bends down and grabs the key. Her eyes light up as she stares at it in her hands. We race out of the study, eager to see what awaits us in the vault. Magil follows behind a moment later, after returning the book to the shelf. So polite. Let's not leave that book lying around. We leave the study, retracing our steps through the dark passageway. Finally, the passage comes to a 3-way branch. Okay, so when you're in the study, apparently, if you tell her the wrong book, your relationship with her will decrease 10 points every time you tell her the wrong book, and she'll deal 18 points of damage to you if you have her read a certain blue book, okay? Once you have the key, your relationship with Kid will increase 15 points. Head towards the terrace and keep going down the hallway until you reach the Treasure Vault store, okay. Head towards the terrace. After continuing on through the passage for a while, the terrace comes into view on the right. Continue on. That was the door, the clock tower storeroom. No, let's keep going down the hallway. Okay. There it is, a firm-looking set of doors on the left. There better be treasure here. The smell of gold's thick in the air, mate. Go inside. It better open now, says Kit, putting the key we found into the lock. As the lock clicks, we're suddenly showered in all colors of light. Must have been an enchanted lock. Whatever is on the other side of this door has gotta be good. The heavy doors open slowly. Inside the room, I gasp at the awesome spectacle laid out before our eyes. Despite the sparse light, a brimming mountain of silver, gold, and other precious-looking artifacts shimmer and twinkle throughout this huge treasure vault. Kid is almost drooling at the sight, but to be fair, a sight like this would captivate most people. Enormous heaps of riches are piled before our eyes, in amounts most people will probably never see in their entire lives. It looks to be authentic. Remember, our goal is the flame. Do not waste time with frivolities, says Magil flatly. Geez, I told ya, I know. Regardless of Magil's warning, Kit can't help but be taken aback. She gawks at the room's contents in awe until... Hey, what's that? In the back, on that pedestal. There, a palm-sized jewel radiates a pale crimson light, resting patiently behind the other treasure. It looks as though it's a roaring flame that's somehow been frozen in time. As I understand it, it's a fragment of Lavos' shell from Chrono Trigger, but I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. I haven't played Chrono Cross in full, so I'm not entirely sure. The frozen flame! As Magil glides over towards the pedestal, I nervously call out. Come on, take it before someone realizes we're here. Be careful, we can't afford falling into a trap. An alarm bell will ring either way, whether you're careful or not, and you'll have to fight some goblins. Okay. Be careful, we can't afford to fall into a trap. Okay. Fine, Kit frustratedly says, glancing back at the door. Just remember, we're short on time. After investigating the pedestal for a little while, Serge was correct. It does seem to be trapped. Magil steps back, mumbling something in a low voice while placing his hand near the base of the pedestal. Slowly, an inscription begins to emerge on its surface, shining brightly for a moment. It should be disarmed now, he says, before cautiously lifting the scarlet jewel from the pedestal. Serge's party got the frozen flame. Phew, we did it. With a sigh of relief, I turn towards Magil. He's looking intently at the flame. Way to go, Magil. Alright, let's... Suddenly, the gem shatters into 1,000 pieces in Magil's hand. It's a fake. Indeed, that fiend Lynx would never have left the real flame in a place like this. Damn. Suddenly, an alarm bell rings out. The room lights up, and heavy metal bars fall in front of the door. Our only exit is blocked. I look around, only to see Kid holding a fancy crown, suddenly realizing what she's done. Serge's party got the golden crown. Okay. That dim-witted dingo, I said to myself. Suddenly, out of the corners of the room, 4 mechanical birds suddenly came to life. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Their loud metallic screeching only adds to my uneasiness. It doesn't look like it will open, says Magil, checking the iron bars in front of the door. But before Magil can even finish his sentence, we start to hear deep, snarling voices somewhere outside the room. Which way is it coming from? A heavy voice asks. Sounds like the treasure vault's alarm to me. The voices continue to get louder and louder as we stand motionless inside the room. We silently gawk at each other, hoping any one of us will have some sort of plan. Kit hides herself under a mountain of gold coins. Quickly hide, mates! I frantically look around the room. There, over in the far corner, there's an empty treasure chest behind a post. I dash over towards it, climb in, and close the lid. Looks like there's no one here, boss. That's strange. No one's ever been able to escape this old thing. Softly opening the lid of the chest, I take a peek outside through the small crack and see 5 goblins, bedecked in armor, having unlocked the iron bars and standing just a few feet from me. It is raining outside. Should I... put on a raincoat? Take an umbrella? Do laundry? Depends. Do you have a dryer? Because you won't be able to put it outside to dry. Stay on stream. Stay on stream. It's Saturday. You can leave that for later. They look around the room restlessly, peeking into the shadows. Eventually, one of them raises his head to speak. Maybe a rat set it off. The cook was complaining about rats just the other day. Or maybe you should cry. Rats, are you trying to tell me a rat set off the trap? A fat goblin questions the other with a doubtful face. And with that, squeak, squeak, squeak comes from the corner over by where Kit's hiding. Taken aback, the goblins stop moving and look at each other. After a little while, the chief slowly strokes his chin and says, "No, actually, wasn't it stray cats that the cook was complaining about?" Meow, meow, comes the voice a second time. Again, the goblins glance at each other. That's strange. What I heard was that it was a vicious Ekron that raided the pantry, I said. Not a peep this time. I can only picture Kid racking her brain, trying to think what an Ekron sounds like. I'll do B and C then. Ekron is a boss in Chrono Trigger, actually. It's a big monster with big claws. Just as I thought. A thief, says one of the guards, but just as they start to approach, run. Oh, well then, it certainly is Ekron. Without a doubt, one of them says, exchanging a smile with the others. Well, that's pretty frightening then. Come on, let's get out of here. The pack begins to file out of the treasure vault. But then suddenly the goblins all spring on the pile of gold. Well, what do we have here? Hey, get your hands off me, you slimy freaks, Kit says, struggling to break free. Slimy? A thief like yourself isn't in much of a position to criticize, one of them hollers at her. Kicking herself free of their grasp, Kit inches back into the corner of the room. The goblin starts to corner her off, laughing to themselves. I quietly sneak out of my hiding place and unsheath my knife. Taking on an entire troop of armed goblins is a lost cause, even for Kid. What should I do? Frankly, I'm in a quandary. I've got to save her. Yeah, I can't abandon my friends, especially at a time like this. Gripping my knife tightly, I charge into the center of the room, shouting, Hey, you stupid oafs! They all turn around, staring at me blankly for a moment before their expressions turn to rage. You just came out here to die, didn't you, little man? Gulp. You really want us to trample over your head that badly? Well, I suppose we can accommodate you, the goblin boss says, giving a deep laugh. Without a moment's hesitation, Kit shouts back, Don't think you can easily pick a fight with the likes of the great Kid and get away with it. Wait a minute, so you're the elusive Kid? The boss asks, as its eyes softly narrow. How sweet this is. Perhaps if I deliver your head to Lord Lynx, it'll give me a nice reward. The boss goblin takes its morning star from its side. The huge iron ball jangles down to the floor. Shouldn't there be music here? Please don't confuse us with just any ordinary goblins, striking fear into the hearts of men everywhere. We are Lynx's elite security force, the fearsome magical gobbler team. If you got time to spout off all that nonsense, then you sure got enough time to get your arses kicked, Kit shouts, exploding with a fierce roundhouse kick. The goblin teeters and staggers, dizzied by the brunt of her attack. Let's get 'em, boys! Start with that little twerp over there! Metal balls begin to swing around, swooshing through the air with deadly speed. Jet gobbler attack, now! What should I do, by the way? Okay. Sliding across the floor like the wind, the goblins simultaneously rush us. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head-on, ready to bash its weapon into my skull. Parry that? I don't think so. Dodge. It's no use, my timing's off. A side shot from the goblin's morning star slices through the air. I try to dodge, but intense pain shoots into my side. I hit the floor with a tremendous thud. Surge, get up! Hearing Kit's words, I somehow touch to my feet, cradling my wooden stomach. I can't let myself falter now. I've got to stay focused. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. Roll over and dodge it, or ram the bastard. Ram the bastard! Hey, Monica, I'm doing great. How about you? I've got to think of a better strategy than just standing around. I quickly put my weight onto the goblin, trying to force it off balance. Unfazed, the goblin moves only a little as I collide with it. I, however, bump off and tumble onto the ground. Arrgh! I scream as the goblin kicks me in the ribs. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head-on, ready to bash its weapon into my skull. Parry? Frantically parrying the goblin's attack, I try to lunge with my knife. However, before I can do anything, the goblin snaps me up in its thick arms and smashes me as hard as it can into the floor. My mind goes completely blank from the shock. Just then, I start to hear an odd howling noise from behind me. I turn around to see Magel's black wind spell streaking out from his fingertips, transforming in midair into a countless number of razors. They fly like homing missiles into one of the goblins, cutting it to shreds. How can a human have such power? Who are you? Ow! Doing okay? Have felt weird since yesterday, like the days aren't real. Ow. Okay. Hopefully that changes for you soon, then. The goblin shrieks in fear as its body is effortlessly torn to pieces. Magil's expression remains unchanged as he silently surveys the scene, looking for his next target. I have a bit of trouble reading this font, I have to say. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. Roll over and dodge it, I guess. As quickly as I can, I roll over and try to dodge the attack. Yes! The iron ball smashes into the floor, sending sparks flying everywhere. It misses me by a hair's breadth. I frantically scramble away from the weapon. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head-on, ready to bash its weapon into my skull. This is getting ridiculous now. It's no use, my timing's off. Yeah, it took too long to react. Damn it! A side shot from the goblin's morning star slices through the air. I try to dodge, but intense pain shoots into my side. You're mixing up what day it is and had to constantly remind myself exactly what day it actually is. Yeah, but it's Saturday, just in case you had any doubts. Surge, get up! I somehow touch to my feet, cradling my wooden stomach. I can't let myself falter now. I've got to stay focused. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air. As quickly as I can, I roll over and try to dodge the attack. I dodged it again. I feel the gust of wind from the metal ball as it closely grazes by me. Somehow I manage to dodge safely. However, I fall off balance and hit the ground with a tug. Kid comes to my aid, delivering a lightning-quick strike to one of the goblins. What's the matter, huh? Where's your magical gobbler skills now, or whatever you call it? The goblin can't help but collapse onto the floor in pain. Kid boots it in the jaw before backing away from her next attack. Quit screwing around, Surge. Keep an eye on your own trouble. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. Roll over, I guess. It's all I can keep doing. The iron ball strikes me square in the back, sending me clear off my feet. I hit the ground with a hard thud as the back of my head smacks against the hard stone floor. I roll over and try to recover, but the throbs of pain are unbearable. Sing, boy! Sing the song of pain! Scampering away, I suddenly see a dark shadow cover the ground in front of me. Fearfully looking up, a huge goblin towers directly above my quivering body. Die! The goblin roars, swinging his weapon down. No, I won't go that easy. Just then I start to hear an odd howling noise from behind me. It's his black wind spell again. The goblin shrieks in fear as its body is effortlessly torn to pieces. Magil's expression remains unchanged as he silently surveys the scene, looking for his next target. Yesterday was also a Saturday in my brain, so he's trying to tell me it's Sunday. But I know it's Saturday, just confusion. Somehow I managed to reel it to my feet and avoid the blow. If it's gonna be random, I try to lunge with my mine knife. Quick as a mouse, I slice into the goblin's side. It lets loose a gnarling scream of pain as its putrid face contorts in agony. Just then, I start to hear an odd howling noise from behind me. I turn around to see Magil's black wind spell streaking out from his fingertips, and so on and so forth. Long live Lord Lynx! Glory to the magical gobblers! Says the last of the goblins as it comes crashing to the ground in a bloody mess. Phew, that's the last of them. Thank God. But I took a lot of damage from this fight, though. Easy, easy, says Kid, wiping some sweat off her brow. Surge, you goof, I can take care of myself, but thanks, mate, she says, cracking a smile. Her face hits me like a glimmering beam of light, cleansing my darkness and filling me with joy. I'll never forget what you did back there, even if I never see you again after tonight. We must be on our way, Magil says. There's no way of knowing who else knows we're here now. I know, that bastard's causing us too much trouble. They said they were Lynx's personal guards, yeah. They might have some valuable stuff on him, but before she even finishes speaking, Kit starts to search through the head goblin's clothes. Jeez, there's really no need to be such a scavenger. Sorry. Hey, what's this? She says, removing a small metal object from the goblin's pocket. It's a hand-shaped medallion of some sort, covered in archaic-looking symbols. It's a key, Magil says, walking over towards us. These markings suggest it unlocks a certain magical seal. Wow, well, they're lost, says Kid, casually putting the plate in her pocket. Damn it, they don't have any other good stuff, cheap goblins. She stands up and looks around, sighing. It'd be a waste to leave all this loot behind, though. We can always come back for it later, Kid. Kid turns around and grins. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's go. The night won't last forever. From the treasure vault, path extends to the left and right. The right path proceeds back towards the terrace, while an ascending staircase lies to the left. Head towards the terrace. After a little while, we come to a door on the left. Yeah, no, towards the terrace, please. I've already been in that room. After a short while, the terrace comes into view on the left. The cool evening air trickles in through the doorway, giving me a subtle reassurance. Proceed on through the hallway. The path splits into 3 directions. To the left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into darkness. Another passageway lies ahead. Take the stairs again. As I start to slowly descend the stairs in the dim light, I stretch my hands out in front of me to try and feel for something. However, all I'm greeted with is the moist feeling of these grimy stone walls. We've descended the staircase. To the left lies a huge stone archway, and to the right we can see a narrow path twisting into the darkness. Go through the archway on the left. Peeping in from the arched entranceway, Kid looks astonished. Wow, look at this! I heard about these things. They're called atriums. A large fountain sits in the center of this beautiful room. Looking across the way, another archway similar to this one leads off into the darkness. Wow, cold, Kid exclaims, taking her hand out of the water. Coming to her side, I kneel down and peer into the pond. Leaning over the beautiful marble edge, I too feel the chilly water. From deep beneath the surface, a number of fish start to swim towards us. These buggers look expansive. I can't seem to see the bottom of the pond. I wonder how deep it is. The fish are a little restless, splashing here and there. Suddenly, Kid tugs at my arm, jerking my hand out of the water. Before I can ask why, one of the fish leaps out, snapping at me. We scramble to our feet and take a few steps back from the fountain. Many other fish soon follow, jumping out of the water, snapping at us. A few land outside the pond. I kick one of them into a corner, watching it violently squirm around. It appears to be a piranha. More and more of them emerge from the apparently bottomless depth. Having gotten a fresh scent of game, the piranhas start to splash around more viciously now, getting water everywhere. I wonder how many of these things could be in there. It looks like there are more and more of them emerging every second. Suddenly a dark red liquid starts to erupt from the fountain. Kid leaps back at once. I'm shocked as well, staring dumbfoundedly at the erupting fountain. It's another trap, I guess. I have to immediately go back. The more you stay, the more damage you'll take. Okay. The gushing red liquid shoots higher and higher. The water level in the pond rapidly rises, taking on a disgusting red hue. Before long, the water level has started to overflow onto the floor. A bead of sweat rolls down my brow as I realize that the room is about to fill with water. We might be able to make it to a safe distance before the piranhas reach us. Quick, what will we do? Head back. Come on, we're outnumbered. Splashing through the water, we turn back, heading for the passageway from where we came. However, a few of them manage to sink their teeth into me before I can get away. I kick off the last remaining few as I bolt out of this vile room. Phew, what a close call. That rat bastard, whatever trick he's got up his sleeve, it won't stop us for long. We're coming for you, Lynx. While resting on the wall to tend to my wounds, I look up and notice something out of the ordinary. Hey, what Was this here before? Carved into the wall, a large marble sculpture of an intimidating face stares down at us coldly. It looks as though it's been sculpted by a fine artisan. It's very detailed. Its features are beautifully etched and barely eroded. It's a mouth of truth, Magill says. A what? A mouth of truth. The legend is that if you are given to lying, a mouth of truth will know it if you put your hands into its mouth. Oh, what a hard idea, Kid says, rolling her eyes. Let's see you do it, I say. Kid looks up worried, but seeing Magill looking at her, feels a resolve and tentatively puts her hands in the mouth. Okay. However, after a few seconds, nothing seems to be happening. Hey, what do you know? Guess I passed the test. That can't be all there is to it. Ah, I know. Kid, how many pounds do you weigh? 104. Kid suddenly takes on a worried look, but before she can remove her hands, the marble set of teeth clamps down onto her wrists. Hey, you stupid face, what's going on? The white marble teeth gnaw from side to side, becoming stained with red. Damn it, let me go! Magill calmly offers an explanation from behind us. Without saying something truthful to the best of one's ability, a mouth of truth will never let go. Not hearing him at all, Kid kicks the stone face in a fit of anger. Let me go, you stupid face! I swear I'm gonna knock your teeth in! That was true. So, then, as swiftly as it closed, the mouth opens. I crouch down to Kid, who's kneeling on the floor, rubbing her wrists. Wow, I guess you weren't lying about knocking its teeth in. Course not, mate. I showed him good, bloody stone face. You didn't put anything inside the mouth, did you, Kid? Magill asks. What are you talking about? No. I walk over beside Magill and peer into the mouth. There, behind its teeth, is a large pink tongue. I think there's some sort of an indentation in it, but I can't be sure. It's really far back in there. Maybe it wants us to put something on its tongue. Maybe that's the real test. Kit begins taking out her things, from in her pockets, under her shoes, and out of her hair. She gathers all sorts of personal effects. She stretches the pile of trinkets held in her hands out to me, smiling innocently. Guess it's my turn to face the test. As long as Kit's safe, I'm happy, I suppose. Wondering what the mouth of truth could possibly want, I reach for one of her accessories. Try using the small silver mirror. Try using the file, the centipede, the lipstick, the special raisins, the fishing line, a huge explosive, the leather scroll, the hand-shaped plate. Isn't it the hand-shaped plate we found before? Ah, yeah, it is. It's the thing we found before. I take the hand-shaped plate. It's strange. Its strange, contorted symbols give me a headache just by looking at them. Nervously, I reach in and place it onto the tongue. It's a perfect fit. Sliding it into place, I quickly remove my hand and back away a few steps. The huge, white eyes start moving around slowly, and a slight vibration can be felt from behind the wall. Something's happening. Something big. I just wish I knew whether it's good or bad. An odd sound escapes from the mouth of truth as its eyes continue to roll. I want to make a run for it. However, I look over and see the ever-fearless expression in Kit's eyes and stay my ground. Suddenly, the marble sculpture stops moving. I stare at it, wondering what's going on. Then its tongue starts to roll around inside its mouth, while its eyes tilt further and further upwards until its pupils disappear underneath its eyelids. We hear the plate sliding down its throat, vanishing into the deep, dark depth of the mansion. What's happening? Apparently, a pious being such as this may roll its eyes from time to time. The simple fact that Magill tried to make a joke just there makes me stop and forget where I am for a second. All that's gonna happen is you're gonna lose another one of my things. I could have got a lot of cash for that, Kit says, regrettably. Suddenly, over by the atrium, we start to hear some sort of latch being opened, and then moments later, the sound of water draining echoes throughout the corridor. Taking a few steps towards the atrium, I see the red water has formed into a whirlpool and is flowing down into the pond. The piranhas are being washed away. What's the matter, little fishies? Not enough water? Oh, playtime's over, you nasty buggers. Come on, I'm dying to see what's past that fountain. Having crossed through the atrium, eventually we come to a split in the path. We can either go left or right from here. Head down the left path. Before me, Kit comes to an abrupt stop. My knife's ready, but all I can see is darkness. Then from up ahead, I start to hear a clattering noise. Whatever it is, it's coming closer and closer. Goblins. It's the sound of iron armor clanking against stone floor, I'm sure of it. Try to suggest we run. Grip my knife and stand ready. I'm gonna save here. Yeah, sadly, it's a random encounter, so I don't have a solution for this. Try to suggest we run. Oh, quit being such a fraidy cat. They already know we're here, mate. Her words stab into me like a rusty nail. Come on, let's get him, she yells, insanely bolting down the passageway. Okay, fine, I'll reload then, because I think this is gonna affect my relationship with her if I am too scaredy. Grip my knife and stand ready. Instantly getting a taste of the situation, I grab my knife and fix my stance. Exchanging glances with Kid, she seems to be ready for anything. Don't get ahead of yourself, mate, she says with an ornery smile. Okay, let's do this. The goblins amount to 5 in all. They seem more intelligent from the usual fare, probably due to some awful form of education in human torture and suffering. Each of them is as tall as Magill, but at least twice as thick. Each of them is equipped with a morning star as well as a mace on the side. These chain-bound spiked metal balls look deadly enough from here. I hope they aren't as skillful with those things as I think they are. Laughing heartily at us, the one in front starts to swing its morning star over its head. What do? Deflect its blow with my knife, jump back as it swings. Not a single moment after I leap back, the iron ball smashes into the stone floor. I can't rely on this little knife to parry those huge morning stars. There's no way I'll survive. Run my knife into the goblin's chest. Before I can let this opportunity pass me by, I instantly lunge my razor-sharp blade straight into the goblin and plant the knife deep within its chest. Pulling it out after a few seconds, a rugged hand suddenly seizes my arm. Glancing up, the hideous, stretched face of an adrenaline-faced goblin stares down at me, waiting to deliver its revenge. Help, kid! Help, Magill! Punch it in the face. Quick! I give the thing a good smack or two upside the head. Unfazed, I resort to poking it in the eyes. Oh man, it did not like that at all. However, for the time being, I'm freed from its grip. I leap away from the thing and ready my knife. Lunge my knife into the goblin, aiming for its heart. The knife's edge disappears into the goblin's chest. You need to react quick, so there's no time to read it all. The knife's edge disappears into the goblin's chest. The goblin looks down, but then looks back up towards me a moment later. Infuriated, it picks me up with both hands, sending me flying through the air. I died? Did I die? And so, I died. Ah, crap, I died! No! It's a good thing I saved. Jeez, if I hadn't, I would have had to restart the whole game from the beginning. I have to be more careful about this. Okay, oh boy. He did use so. I had lost a lot of health before. It's not just that killed me. It's the combination of everything. My HP stat was already pretty low, probably, from the last fight against the goblins, where I kept getting hit in the stomach, hit in the arm, and so forth with their morning stars. Okay, well, let's try to perform that better then. I may get a chance to get healed later. Okay, jump back, yeah. Then hit it with a knife. Okay, I'll do everything the same except the last choice that I made. Its glistening saliva drips down from its huge fangs. Punch it in the face. Kick it where the sun don't shine. Hey, in love and war anything's fair. I kick upwards with all my rage. Ah! Its knees buckle, yelping in a voice I didn't know a goblin could even make. I'm gonna save here. It seems to be going well. However, it recovers quickly. My foot, on the other hand, isn't so lucky. As it starts to painfully throb, the goblin fixes its tight grip on my neck. I can't take much more of this. The ferocious goblin picks me up by the neck, ramming me up against the wall. I've had the wind completely knocked out of me, but the goblin doesn't let up. It continues to punch me in the gut as I hang there, utterly defenseless. It releases me, laughing down at me as I lay there on the stone floor trying to catch my breath. I didn't die. I died? Undo load state. No. Undo save state. And load state. Okay. I'm back here. Okay. Dang, having so little low HP it makes these fights hard. What was I supposed to do? Cry for help? Well, I have no choice but to jump back, it seems here. So quickly slash at his hand. Seizing the opportunity to score a hit against its unprotected flesh, I slash at the goblin's extended hand before it has the chance to recoil its weapon. If I injure his hand enough, I guess it won't be able to attack me anymore. I tear open a huge gash, revealing muscles and tendons. Recoiling its violently bleeding hand in a shock of hysteria, it lets go of its morning star. Lunge my knife into the goblin's, aiming for its heart. Okay. The knife's edge disappears into the goblin's chest. It looks down, looks back up towards me a moment later, picks me up with both hands, sending me flying through the air, and I died again. Okay. But injuring its hand seems to be the right thing to do, though. Mega rip. I need to heal myself, but I don't know when the opportunity will arise. And there are 5 of them. Jeez. Jump to avoid the attack. Deflecting it is useless. He says so himself. Quickly slash at its hand. That seemed like the right thing to do. So not the heart. I throw the knife as hard as I can, but the goblin easily knocks it out of the way with the back of its massive hand. Okay. However, with the diversion I've brought for myself, I quickly scramble around behind it, snatching its mace. Realizing something's going on, the goblin instantly turns around, where it meets a solid blow from my mace. What's left of the goblin falls to the floor lifeless. Okay. Looking around at the victory before me, I let out a sigh of relief. So you got one, eh, mate? That's showing him. I want to say something back, but I'm so tired I just stand there, ready for anything. Okay. Ouch, my body is screaming at me from all my cuts and bruises, and I'm a mess upstairs too. I don't know how much more of this I can handle. I really need to watch myself from here on out. Yeah, I know. Not bad, Serge. Not bad at all, Kit says, catching my eye. A few moments pass, and she's still staring at me, smiling. Oh man, what do I do? Should I say something? I look away after a nervous moment, but full of glee. I can never handle this kind of thing. Those baby blues of hers get me every time. Save, because I don't want to have to do that again. After a bit of walking, we come to an old-looking door with a brass handle. Damn it, another locked door. I don't get it. There's no smell of gold or nothing. This leads to Viper Manor's Famicom, says Maggie hesitantly. He's right. Standing here in silence, I realize there's a faint scent of death on the air. And then, putting my ear to the door, I start to hear deep, tortured moans from far beyond. I jump back, looking at the door. Let's try somewhere else. Heading away from the catacombs, we eventually come to a split. Turning right heads back to the atrium, while ahead of us, I can see nothing but a dark stone corridor leading off into the darkness. Keep on going forward, then take the descending staircase and turn left. Keep on going forward. After a little ways down the passageway, we come to a descending staircase. Take the stairs. We slowly walk down the stairs, taking us deep below the ground. It's as though we're descending further and further into an endless abyss. Once we reach the bottom, we come to another split. We can go left or right, but both paths look equally dismal. Let's go left, I think. Left. After a little ways, we're presented with a sturdy set of doors. A wooden plaque has been hung above the door frame. Only one word is written on it. Armory! Armory, eh? The key to the catacombs has gotta be in here. Kid places her here on the door. Not a peep. Turn back or go in? I guess we've come all this way. We have to go in, don't we? Someone is here, however. With a book in hand, a single goblin sits in a chair, humming to itself. A sweet aroma fills the room, presumably from the teacup sitting on the table before it. There's something different about this goblin. It doesn't seem hostile in the least. Looking up from its book, it examines us from behind its bifocals. Ah, welcome. It's rare to have visitors all the way down here. Too bad we're not guests, Kid shouts. If you wanted to live, tell us where the key to the catacomb is. And with that, Kid takes her knife and thrusts it onto the desk, slicing through the tablecloth. The goblin remains docile. Ah, you must be the elusive Kid. I so wanted to see you with my own eyes. We've all heard so much about you. But before it can finish its sentence, Kid grabs the knife and hurls it through the air. The goblin sets its book down, now unreadable due to the 7-inch blade protruding through it. It removes the knives and places it on the table. Your reputation precedes you. You are quite a radical young lady. Nevertheless, it's a shame. I wanted to see how that novel ended up. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Esmold, it says, offering a simple introduction. Please, I do hate to keep my guests standing at bay. Come, sit, and we shall converse over tea. Wow, what a polite goblin. My first thought is that it's poisoned. Despite my concerns, Magil sits down. Take a seat next to Magil, or look at Kid. Hold on, I'll save. Take a seat next to Magil, okay. Trusting Magil, I sit down next to him. Surely he's got something up his sleeve. Looking at Kid, she truly doesn't want anything to do with this. She remains standing, keeping a vigilant eye on Esmelt. Black tea is set for 3 at the table. Ah, there we are. After a moment, Magil takes the teacup and brings it slowly to his mouth. He takes a sip, and then sets the cup back on the table. Esmelt smiles. Ah, a Malayan chimpanzee. I've not had this blend in quite some time, Magil says. I see you are a gentleman of fine taste. I will have you know not many of my visitors have known of this type of black tea. Listening to their banter, I stare at my cup. Could it really be poisoned? Picking up the teacup, I bring it close to my mouth. It doesn't smell so bad. Delicious, I exclaim. I've never had anything like this before. I loosen up a bit, sitting back in my chair. Wait a sec, what's going on? My wounds, they're being healed. Yes! Finally! I needed that. Let's save. Looking over towards Kid, she seems to be enjoying it as well. So let's get down to business. Certainly the key to the catacombs has to be around here somewhere. Whether I remember where it is, however, that's a different story. Tough luck. Give us the key. Is there something you'd like in exchange? It's up to you to make him remember where it is. Okay. Optional. If you want a bit of fun, tell him tough luck, give us the key, and then take out your secret collection of Kid's photos before telling him the story. Kid will not be amused and deal 40 points of damage to you, though. Your relationship with her will also go down 30 points. I kinda want to see where this is going and then reload the save file afterward. Tough luck, give us the key, I said, trying not to show my nervousness. Well, you can threaten to kill me, but that would bring you no closer to the key. You could search Viper Manor for a whole month, day and night, and never find it. I understand. And there's something you'd like in return? take out my secret collection of Kit's photos. Walking over to Elsmel's side, I slip him one of my secret stash. Would this change your mind? I whisper. However, his face shows nothing but utmost reservation. What I seek is nothing material. Hey mate, what you show him? Kit asks. Hoping to avoid Kit's question, I quickly ask Esmold. Well, what would you like then? Something I want. Your life, perhaps, he says, as his eyes light up from behind his glasses. If I hear or read, let's get down to business, I can't help but want to sing Make a Man Eye of You from Mulan. Oh, you misunderstand, young man. I do not wish to harm you, Esmold says, noticing the sudden look of shock on my face. I enjoy chatting with the many types of visitors that we have in the mansion. Okay, hold on. I'll go back because apparently this is not what I was supposed to say. Is there something you'd like in exchange? Something I want. Your life, perhaps. I guess it falls back to where it was before, except that kid doesn't hurt you. Crap. Hold on. Or maybe I don't have to take my knife? You only have a short moment to decide, so... Something I want. Your life, perhaps, he says, as his eyes light up from behind his glasses. Grab my knife! If you wait... No? Yeah. Oh, you misunderstand, young man. I do not wish to harm you, Esmold says, noticing the sudden look of shock on my face. I enjoy chatting with the many types of visitors that we have in the mansion. Surely, as an adventurer, you must have plenty of interesting stories to tell. Adding to this, he looks in my direction with a smile. I look highly on unique stories and have been known to reward such storytellers. Staring down at the dark liquid before me, I start to rack my brain for a really good story. Okay, I've got it. On one particular evening, a small girl walked through a dark, dreary forest. The girl has searched anywhere and everywhere for the golden sunflower, the only cure for her mother's illness. The girl suddenly came across a large beetle. Okay. Taking it back to her home, the girl painted the beetle from head to toe with a shiny golden paint. A fine beginning, perhaps. Is that all? No, One evening, while a girl was walking through the forest, she came across a beetle. She took it home, painting it with a shiny gold paint. The next morning, the girl went to town to sell the beetle. Claiming it was a good luck beetle, she showed it to many travelers and eventually sold it for an outrageous sum of money. Yeah, Serge, and I'll bet the girl's name was Kid, wasn't it? From beside me, chills run down my spine as I hear Kid question me in her coldest tone. I made it up, Kid, I whispered to her. Maybe she really did do something like that in the past. Glancing at her, I see her eyes start to cloud over. Then suddenly, she starts choking me, wrapping both her hands around my neck. How do you know about all this? Kid yells, strangling me. From behind me, I see Esmold pull out one of his tea bags. Noticing it, she suddenly forgets all about me, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the tea. Perhaps some of my precious black tea leaves can be used to prevent against Rucus in here? Kid immediately snatches the tea bag. It was a fairly entertaining story. I'm a goblin of my word, and as such I shall give you the key, he says, knocking on a certain spot at a nearby wall. A secret compartment opens, from where he takes the key. He hands it to us with a smile on his face. Thanking him, we leave the room. Okay. Heading away from the armory, proceed on through and enter the kitchen. Okay. Proceed on through. After a little while, the passage ends at a small door. Hey, I smell home cooking. Enter. Oh, it's just a small kitchen. Hold on, I'll save here. I'll get something to drink because, as I feared, reading out loud for hours, non-stop, makes my throat a bit sore, I'm afraid. Why the hell would you say such a misleading thing as that? You're just asking to be stabbed. Yeah, about the thing about I shall take your life. Yeah. I'd like to have a strepsil, but I have to keep reading, so it may sound like my mouth is full, but that's normal. You know what I should have made? Tea. I should have made a big bottle of tea or something in preparation for this. For the servants, probably, I add. I look around the tiny room. There's a sink, pots and pans, and a bunch of food in the cupboards. A rat hangs in a cage off in a corner, but aside from that, it's a pretty average kitchen. Kid walks over to a deep saucepan and peers inside. Smells fresh. Want some grub, Serge? Sure. What? No way. Hold on, because I may not have all the time in the world to choose. I have to say yes. I timidly peer into the saucepan. It looks like some sort of a stew. Using the ladle on the stove, I reach in and take a big scoop. Delicious. No? Maybe? Tea with honey especially is good if you're gonna be reading out loud a lot. Yeah, definitely. Kid looks at me again. After a moment of hesitation, she comes over. Quit hanging it all for yourself, mate, she says, taking the ladle and sniffing the warm mixture. Want some, McGill? No, thank you. We take some bowls from the shelves and serve ourselves some more. As we eat more and more, the stew's warmth flows through us. I feel great. But then all of a sudden, a quiet, shrill voice echoes out. It seems to be coming from over by the cage. Ah, what an independent young lad. Are all the boys wearing braids these days? You're gonna make Monica angry, society guy. With honey, it's just good no matter what, though, yeah. I stop and look at Kid. Who's there? Looking over in the direction of the voice, we see nothing but the single rat. It stares at us with its small beady eyes. Ah, excuse me, you're a girl, not a boy. It looks like Kid can't decide whether to be puzzled or infuriated by all this. But just between you and me, I don't think this is the first time her personality has led someone to think she's a guy. At any rate, the brown rat continues. Listen, please, kind humans. I am trapped within a most unfortunate situation. While on my way to the kitchen this morning to bring home some food for my mother, goblins seized me and trapped me here in this cage. Unless I can escape, I am to be a side dish for their next meal. I've always been a coffee guy, never had leaf water that I thought was good. Okay. I mean, I like coffee for the convenience of it, but I like both. Depends on the situation, also. A side dish? Listening to the rat, Kid walks over to the sink. Please, you must help me. My desperately ill mother awaits my return. The rat pleads, its eyes twinkling in the light. However, I look over towards Kid. She's over by the sink, her face getting redder and redder. Stupid rat, don't even know a lady when you see one, Kid yells, stomping out of the kitchen. Oh, young lady, I did not mean to. With Kid gone, the rat turns towards me. Brother, help me. Shall we help him? Okay, hold on. Help it out? I understand. I open the cage door. The rat quickly scurries out. Heh heh, the rat laughs as a strange smile comes over its face. You really are a bunch of fools. Spitting out those words, the rat suddenly starts to tremble, before rapidly growing in size, growing larger and larger by the second. It's a griffon! Stupid humans, you're just in time for my lunch, my mother's, that is. Okay. Damn it, Serge, you walked right into its trap. Oh man, what was I thinking? the griffon rises up onto its hind legs, screeching and flapping its huge wings. Jump back! What was that what I was supposed to do? Hold on, because you don't have a lot of time. And you can't pause the game. Okay, I'll save here again. Suddenly, its sharp talons swoop down at us. Hit the deck! I frantically tried to dodge the beast, hoping to avoid those terrifying 3-inch claws. I managed to avoid its blow, but I'm now cornered into the back of the room. As it inches near me for a strike, it rises up onto its hind legs once again, this time even higher than before. However, in a moment of blind luck, the griffon suddenly loses balance on the slippery floor and comes crashing to the ground. Urgh! Wow, talk about close calls. I let out a breath of relief as I stand over the griffons, wondering what to do next. So yeah, ugly rat. Now who's stupid? Oh, wait, please, I beg you. Kind, beautiful human girl. I am aware of valued information. If you promise to spare my life, I will tell you a special secret of the mansion. I don't know, you lied already, you bugger. I'd rather just kill ya and have it be over with, Kit says, taking a step closer. Kid, let us hear what he has to say, Magil says, coming between them. Kit pauses for a second and then steps back. Thank you. That would have been fun, Kit says, shrugging. One day you two may find yourselves within my situation, caged in on all sides. If such a fate comes to pass, remember these directions, and your lives shall be spared. Sorry, tea is just nice by itself in my opinion, but the different kinds of tea can do different kinds of things for you. For example, some can help boost metabolism, some can do wonders for your skin, and others can reduce bloating. It's hydrating and calming, and there are so many different tastes and smells from tea. I love especially the taste and scent of flowers in my tea personally, but to each his own though. Like blue poppy tea, like blue poppy with mixed in with another kind of tea, for example. That smells so good, and there's a special kind of taste to it that I quite like. I had good tea once with a previous girlfriend, but I never asked her what type it was. Right 3 steps, left 2 steps, right 2 steps, and then you'll see. Maybe I have to write this. Okay. No sooner that it says this, the griffon transforms back into a rat, scurrying off into a crack in the wall. I sure hope sparing that thing was worth it. Who knows when it'll sneak up on us next. Ahead of me, I hear Kit come to a sudden stop. What's wrong? I ask in a whisper. I look over only to see Kit pointing down the dark hallway. Squinting my eyes, I try to look for something. After a while, I start to see some sort of white mass, a ways ahead of us. What is it? I ask, readying my knife. And then, as if reacting to my voice, it starts to quickly scurry towards us, growing taller and taller as it approaches. Okay, that's a skeleton. I was in a tea shop once and it was an amazing experience. So many different kinds of tea, the smells and tastes. I didn't want to leave. I can imagine. I feel the same when I am in a corner of a shop where they have all the spices, for example. That smells so good. It's a skeleton. Quick, what will we do? Fall back. Ram it. Ram it. I immediately start rushing, hoping to catch it off guard. Arg! With a hollow clatter, the skeleton comes toppling down to the ground, rips flying everywhere as its spine breaks in two. I think you've had enough, Kit shouts, looking over the crumbled heap of bones. Suddenly, as if somehow reacting to our taunts, the skeleton's remains begin to stir once again. I back away in shock as the skeleton's torso starts to prop itself up with its left hand. Its right hand then grasps its dislodged skull and holds it up, staring straight at us. What the? Suddenly the skeleton hurls its skull at me with blinding speed. What do I do? Catch it! I nimbly catch the skull in my hand. Throw it back! I throw the skull back at the skeleton, but unfortunately its cat-like reflexes allow it to catch it and hurl it back towards me almost before I have time to react. I barely managed to catch the skull, but what do I do now? Throw it back again. I throw the skull back at the skeleton. Yeah, I guess we have to keep doing that, I guess. Smash it onto the floor then. I kneel down to the ground and raise the skull high above my head. Then with all my might, I hurl it down to the ground with blinding speed. As soon as I do this, the remains of the skeleton crumble lifelessly to the ground. Kid runs up to the pile, scattering the bones everywhere. Relieved, I crawl back away, staring at the shattered skull before me. Also, black tea has caffeine in it, and as someone who can't drink coffee since it's too bitter for me, it's a good way of waking up in the morning. I can't drink coffee without sugar myself, but because otherwise, yeah, it's too bitter. But with sugar and milk, I love my coffee though. Now you've had enough, Kid says. Hugh, you okay, mate? Yeah, I'm not bad. I've got some bruises here and there, but nothing too serious. You? Oh, are you kidding? I kicked that thing's arse so bad it didn't even have time to say its prayers. Yeah, we did pretty good back there, didn't we? You got a thing or two to learn, but you're getting there, mate. Kid's mischievous eyes sparkle as I glance at her for a moment in the dim moonlight. I slough down the corridor with her, ready for what's next. Okay, where do we go? Up the stairs or towards the armory? Up the stairs. There are only a few brands you can drink black. We head up the narrow stairwell with Kid leading the way. Coming to the top, we're faced with a dimly lit corridor. We head down it, quietly masking our steps. Towards the catacombs. After a bit of walking, we come to an old-looking door with a brass handle. Okay, the goblin's key should open this door, Kid says, putting the key into the lock. With a click, the door unlocks. The door opens with a deep creak. Damp air creeps up from below. Peering into the dark, decrepit place, I wonder how I ever got talked into coming to a place like this. Another save here, perhaps. That may be for the best. We find ourselves in a long hallway, flanked on both sides by rows of countless jail cells. The cold iron bars stretch on in front of us endlessly. 1, 2. Oh, Gorba, Murkid, surrender, forgive me. A quiet, sobbing voice seems to be coming from the third cell on the right. I peer around the corner into the cell. In this dim, damp space, an old man sits in solitude, quietly mumbling to himself. Hey, mister. Everyone. And it was all because of me. Every last one of the dragoons. Miss Riedel. Even the general. Forgive me, please. Ignoring us, the old man continues to mutter, staring at the floor as he rocks back and forth. Hey, can you hear me? Kid says, shaking the bars a little. He will not hear a thing. He has constructed a wall around himself, Magill says. What do you mean? I ask Magill. A wall used for shielding one's mind from reality. After being exposed to horrific events, tremendous amounts of pain and guilt has this effect on a person. He has made a safe world inside his own mind, where he retreats into. From there, he refuses to acknowledge anything he does not want to admit. If I want to drink coffee, I need a ton of sugar and milk in it, practically making it more of an overly sweet iced coffee, so I'll stick to tea. I noticed that talking about this has given Magill a sort of sad, lost look in his face. Noticing my glance, he quickly turns away from me. I believe this is a reference to the fact that Magus in Chrono Trigger, at least in one of the endings that they added to Chrono Trigger, he has lost his memory, and the character of Magill in Chrono Cross was initially going to be Magus, who has lost his memory, but then they changed their mind as they were developing the game. So I believe that's why he has a sad look on his face, I guess, because he sort of built a wall, I guess, around memories that he does not want to reflect upon, sad events in his past. Noticing my glance, he quickly turns away from me. Strange. Magil somehow reminded me of Kit just then. When Magil turns back, his usual blank expression has returned. Does this make sense to you, Serge? Magil asks. Yeah, it does. Magil continues looking at Kit and me. We rarely see the walls we're trapped within. However, given time, some can come to understand and possibly even break free of these shortcomings. I wait for Magil to finish, but he doesn't end up saying anything. I'd ask, but oh well. The mind revealing itself to itself. We can't help this old geezer. Let's get back to work, Kit says, already heading for the door. Wait, Kit, Magil calls out. Somehow or another, we may yet find a way into this man's mind. What good will that do? Didn't you hear what he was talking about? The Dragoons, Riddle, General Viper? Oh, he's probably just into old folklore or something, Kit says, returning to the door. I have a feeling his knowledge will prove to be useful. Certainly he has heard something of importance concerning our situation, Magil says. Well, I guess we ought to help the old bloke out with his troubles. While we're here, what do you say we do, Kit asks. Hold on, I'll pause because there may be some time to decide. Say nothing, confused. Okay. Thinking through everything that's been said already, I really have no idea about how to get anywhere with him. Well, somebody better think of something soon, Kit says. We must find a way to reach beyond this wall. For every locked door there exists a key, so to speak. We will never make any progress with this man until we know what lies in his past. What are you talking about? A key? A key? Kit asks. I do not know either, Magil answers. However, there is at least one person in Viper Manor who does. Riddle. Riddle, indeed. Leaving the endless rows of cells behind, we head back to the passageway. Heading away from the catacombs, we eventually come to a split. Turning right heads back to the atrium, while proceeding straight through will take us to a downward staircase. Yeah, I don't know my way around. So, I bet I still have the map that I wrote down, like, more than 10 years ago, somewhere in my notes, but I don't want to have to look for it. So we have to go to Riddle's room. Heading away from the catacombs, turn right. Go across the atrium. Ahead of us we see another archway. Yeah, you have to head ahead. Continue on for the room. Yeah, they even say this will take us to an upward staircase and eventually links his and Riddle's quarters. Yeah, let's continue on through the room. We come to a branch after a ways. To our right lies a staircase going up, while the start of a dark passageway is directly ahead. Proceed through the passageway. We proceed through the dark passageway. Before long, we're greeted with a beautifully ornate set of doors on the right. These are the quarters of Riddle, Lynx's adopted daughter. Enter the room. Yeah, I got disconnected earlier, and then it stopped working. I do wish I had a way to fix it for sure, but it just does its own thing after it's been disconnected, or I have to shut off OBS and then turn it back on again. Which means stopping streaming, and that's really inconvenient. Yeah. I can't do anything about it. Unless OBS was booted and internet was working and it doesn't stop working at all, it will work as intended, but otherwise it will not. We come to a comfortably decorated room. Small trinkets have been placed on the desk and shelves, adding some charm. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to try and bring a somewhat graceful lifestyle into this otherwise dark mansion. Still, the room seems to carry an unsettling stillness with it. Is someone there? I instantly hide behind the door, trying to figure out where that voice came from. It sounded like a girl, but it wasn't Kid. It's Lynx's adopted daughter, Riddle. It has to be her. Odd. I could have sworn I heard someone come in, she says. Apparently she hasn't seen us yet. What will we do? I keep myself hidden behind the door. We have to talk to her. No? Suddenly, Kit bolts out from behind a chair. She silently comes up behind Riddle, putting a knife to her throat. We've come for the frozen flame. Where is it? Kit yells in a low... she yells in a low, strict voice. We've come for the frozen flame. Where is it? I guess. Sounds more like that. Kid, there's no need to be like that, I say, trying to calm her down. Quiet, Serge. Riddle giggles at the two of us. What's so funny? Kit says in a tight tone. Oh, come on, you can't be thieves. You're far too noisy. I wouldn't be saying such things if I was you. Well then, go ahead and cut me. At that moment, I picture in my head Riddle collapsing with a blue face smeared in blood. Kid, look at her. She's not going to hurt us. Damn it. Alright. Still, don't think I'm not keeping an eye on you. The feeling is mutual, Riddle says. Don't worry, we're not your enemies. We're not after your power, I say to Riddle, trying to keep cool. We've just come to talk. If there's anything you could tell us about the Frozen Flame, or perhaps the Acacia Dragoons. Hearing these words, a somber look comes over Riddle's face. After a moment, she begins to speak. The Frozen Flame. It was kept in a kingdom to the north for centuries, legend has it. I think the legend to the north that they're talking about is Guardia from Chrono Trigger, but I'm not entirely sure. With its subtle, mysterious power, it allegedly could guide people and change history, all while somehow remaining elusive to those who sought it, or so I have heard. At the time of that kingdom's downfall, it was seized from its resting place, passed from hand to hand. Finally, it came into the possession of my father, General Viper. Lynx approached my father as a friend years ago. Blindly trusting him, my father was taken advantage of by Lynx, unable to realize his true intentions. And so, on that fateful day, struck down by his alleged friend, my father was robbed and left for dead. Averting her eyes, Riddle buries her face in her hands. I didn't know. I didn't know Lynx was behind all this at the time he took me into his custody. I was just a child. That cursed rock, I didn't know anything about it, and I don't want to. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I want nothing more than to see this all come to an end, she says with tears in her eyes. I'm taken aback hearing these words. Suddenly, Magill comes forward to speak. Do you know of the old man who currently is locked away in the catacombs? That traitor! Because of him, my father! My dear Zorander! Please, miss. Turning her back on us, Riddle pauses. After a moment, she turns around, letting out a deep sigh. Yes, I know the man of whom you speak. He is an Acacia Dragoon, is he not? Magill asks. He was before he spent countless days and nights locked up in the torture chamber, losing his mind as well as his identity in the process. I remember the day they removed him from that dreadful room, beaten within an inch of his life. The torture chamber you speak of, it is the room upstairs with the trap ceiling, correct? Riddle nods silently. Perhaps we may find a clue to his past there, says Magill. I'd hoped it wouldn't come to this. If you must search that room, be sure you have the Iron Lancer with you before you go. You do. High what? Kid asks. It's a holy white sword created long ago by ancient sages, along with its demonic brother, the Masamune. Again, a sword that is a very important plot device in Chrono Trigger. It was the Acacia Dragoon's most prized weapon. It once glided through the air in Zorander's hand, shimmering like a star. I guess it may have been made... Maybe it was crafted by Melchior from Chrono Trigger. like the Masamune. Now, however, the dragoons are all but extinct, and the sword has been stored somewhere in this mansion, as though it was some sort of trivial memento. It is much more than a common sword, though. Shielded by its magical enchantment, its bearer will be protected against many forms of evil. Thinking of those memories of days long gone again, Riddle hangs her head in sadness. I wish I could be more of a help to you. I apologize. Now, that was plenty, Kit says, heading out of the room. But I wish I was more powerful like you people, Riddle says, biting her lip. Stopping in the doorway, Kid looks over her shoulder. Strength didn't get us here. Power comes from believing in yourself. I see. I wish you luck. As she heads out of the room, Kid mutters, hope it ain't bad luck. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. Heading to the right will take us to Lynx's quarters, while turning left will take us back to the ascending staircase. Let's head right toward Lynx's quarters, or let's head left towards the atrium. Okay, I have to turn right. After a little while, the dark passageway ends at a polished, robust set of doors. Lynx's quarters. Oh man, I can feel Kit's blood boiling from here. Go into the room, I guess? Is that it? No, turn back. I went the wrong way. Okay. I should have gone left from a room. Towards the atrium, take the stairs up. Ah, crap. What's that? Suddenly a blood-curdling screech cuts through the darkness. Scared stiff at the deafening sound, I look up to see two gigantic, maddening red eyeballs staring straight at me. It's a griffon! Before I can even unsheath my knife, it starts to flip its wings viciously. Let's save. Conjuring a tremendous gust of wind, I'm knocked clear of my feet, banging my head up against the wall. Serge, you okay? My body aches from head to toe. I struggle to ignore the pain as I hastily get back up. I bend down to grab my knife. As I stand back up with it in my hands, I suddenly realize the griffon has already cornered me off. It stands no less than a few feet in front of me, its enraged red eyes glowing like amber. What am I going to do now? Jump out of the way. Hit the deck! Before I realize what's going on, the griffon snaps at me with its huge beak. Ah! The griffon bores a huge crevice into my shoulder. Okay, that was probably not the right thing to do then. I'd like to not take too much damage, considering opportunities to heal are not aplenty. Okay, save here, I guess. Jump out of the way. I instinctively leap back, and not a moment too soon. I barely miss a swing from one of the griffon's log-like legs. Trying to break free of that ferocious, visceral gaze, I remember the knife I'm holding and grip it tight. Attack! Quickly switching my knife to a backhand grip, I swing at the griffon's neck with all my rage. I send my knife arcing through the air, hoping to connect with raw flesh. It reels back in pain. I back away as I watch the blood start to gush from its wound. Surge! Move! Megal's certain voice booms behind. Not knowing what to expect, I immediately hit the deck. Suddenly from above, a blazing streak of red shoots through the air, straight into the heart of the griffon. Its body bursts into flames. It rises up on its hind legs, screeching in pain. The beast tramples around madly, now a crazed mess of rage and agony. Then suddenly regaining its wits, it starts to charge furiously at me. What am I going to do now? Jump out of the way? I instinctively leap back, and not a moment too soon. I barely miss a swing from one of the griffon's log-like legs. Okay. So far, so good. Attack again. Seeing its fate, the griffon desperately recoils, leaving me with nothing but a fumbled attack. It then swings at me, eager to defend itself. I dodge, but then accidentally slip and fall to the ground. I hastily fix my stance, ready for another attack within moments. Trying to break free of that ferocious, visceral gaze, I remember the knife. Attack again, I guess. Okay, it just doesn't want. That just doesn't want to work. Okay, Magil is going to attack again. Okay, it's finally dead. Kneeling down, I rest for a minute to tend to my wounds. What wounds? I mean, again, other than being knocked against the wall, I guess. Hey, no whining. You're not bad, mate. I've seen worse hangovers than how you look right now. I wish I had her determination. After I finish applying my bandages, I get up hoping I'll be okay. I can't start to give up now, but boy, these cuts are really starting to hurt. Not bad, Serge. Not bad at all, Kit says, catching my eye. A few moments pass and she's still staring at me, smiling. Oh man, what do I do? Should I say something? Yeah, well, it's the same thing as before. Wait a second, what's that? I bend down and pick up a small leather sack. Looking inside, I find a small bottle filled with a clear liquid. Well, go on, mate. You found it. You drink it. I hesitantly gulp the potion. Ah, that's sweet. Oh, wow, I feel great. It's making my wounds heal as fast as lightning. Want some, kid? Oh, sorry, it's all gone. After walking a ways, we come to a beautifully decorated set of doors on the left. Yeah, that's Riddle's quarters. Let's move on. Up the stairs. I think the more you walk around aimlessly, and the more you're likely to run into these enemies. And I guess they also have random drops, as if it was an RPG. Wow. I guess. Turn right towards the terrace, past it, and enter the clock tower storeroom. Okay. We've ascended the staircase. In front of us, path extend in 3 directions towards the terrace. That's where we have to go. Ahead of me, I hear Kit come to a sudden stop. What's wrong? Oh no, not a fight again. I look over only to see Kit pointing down the dark hallway. A white mass waves ahead of us. Is it another Griffon? I know it's a skeleton. Okay. Ram it. Again. With a hollow clatter, the skeleton comes toppling down. I think you've had enough, Kit shouts, looking over the crumbled heap of bones. Yeah. And then you grab a skull. Again. Grab the skull. Throw it back. No, smash it into the floor. With all my might, I hurl it down to the ground with blinding speed. As soon as I do this, the remains of the skeleton crumble lifelessly. I guess this is how you... Maybe there's a, like, surefire way to deal with them every time. You okay, mate? Yeah, I'm not bad. I've got some bruises here and there, but he didn't even touch me! Yeah, well, anyway, let's move on. That was another random encounter. Should I say something? Yeah, I got the baby blues, I guess, again. Full of glee. I can never handle this kind of thing. Those baby blues of hers get me every time. Move on from the terrace. Continue on through the passageway. Go out on... No, continue on. Yeah, the old dusty door is to the clock tower storeroom. Yeah, if I remember correctly, open the door. The room is quiet except for the sounds of the gears. There's no sign of the hooded lady anywhere. We rush over towards the sword. Looking down at it, Magil starts to speak. This may be what we're looking for. By the looks of it, this sword could be the fabled holy Heinlanzer. Or perhaps the demonic Masamune. Wow, Magil, you know about the Masamune? You bet he does. Did you ever know its owner? Who, Frog? From Chrono Trigger? Was he your mate? So he was one of your enemies then? Yeah, he was. No? He says no. Well, I guess in the end they became friends. Or, at least allies. Well, hey, Serge, take this thing. Huh? Come on, you don't expect a fair maiden like me to carry this bulky thing all over the place, do ya? Well, fair maiden? Okay, swallow your pride. Swallow my pride and pick it up. I grit my teeth and remind myself it would get me absolutely nowhere to argue with her. So I go to Kit's side and pick up the sword just as I was told to. Oof! Jeez, it's heavy. Okay, let's get our asses to that bloody torture chamber. I can almost smell the frozen flame from here. I think you go to the right as you come out of the of the of the clock tower room. Take the stairs and then enter the torture chamber. I can almost smell the frozen flame from here. I follow Kid out of the room, dragging the heavy sword. All of a sudden, a chilly wind blows past me. Not only that, but also a thick fog has started to accumulate all around us. We're in trouble. It swirls around us faster and faster. After a few moments, it coagulates before me, forming into some sort of humanoid shape. It's a poltergeist! Don't move! Kid's whispering does nothing but add to my increasing feelings of fear and dread. How are we supposed to fight something that doesn't even have a body? From beside me, a low voice starts to echo throughout the dim hallway. It's Magil. He seems to be starting some kind of incantation. But what am I going to do in the meantime? Hide behind Magil. I run and hide behind Magil, but this only seems to draw the poltergeist's attention. It blows a gust of wind in my direction. Okay, that was not the right choice. Hope to scare it off by unsheathing my knife. I reach for my knife, trying to put on my game face. With my weapon extended out in front of me, I focus my attention on the tip of the blade. Suddenly, an icy chill blows through me. The temperature seems to be dropping at an alarming rate. Cold. As I start to shiver more and more, I realize my knife isn't going to do me a bit of good against this thing's magic. So cold. It feels as though I could tip over and shatter into 1,000 pieces. Surge! Come on, mate! Snap out of it! The sound of Kit's voice pierces into my consciousness like a hot knife through butter. However, I quickly start to lose it once again. She runs to my side as I start to tumble over. With my last few bits of energy, I open my eyes and see Magil letting loose some sort of spell, streaking towards the poltergeist. Did I die? What happened? Surge! Hey, Surge! You still with us? I hear as I realize someone slapping me in the face. Over and over. Kid, I shout, groggily getting up. Surge! I thought, being under for that long and all. Wow, she seems concerned, almost really distraught. How long was I under? But hey, no loss. You're back, good as new. Was that a scripted encounter? Okay, no, it wasn't. But hey, no loss, you're back good as new. Well, I don't know if I'd say that, but... Q, you okay, mate? Yeah, I'm not bad. I've got some bruises here and there, but nothing too serious. You? Oh, are you kidding? I kicked that thing out so bad, it didn't even have time to say its prayers. Yeah, we did pretty good back there, didn't we? I wonder if this is maybe the, like, generic outcome of a battle where you didn't take too much of a beating. Oh man, what do I do? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I wish this repeating text was not a thing, but you have to remember that this was a downloadable game for the Super Nintendo that you would have to store on a flash cartridge that could only house like 4 megabytes at most. And those things costed a lot of money. I think this one is a 1 megabyte game. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 1 megabyte. So... you couldn't fit a lot of text in there, I guess, so there was going to be a bit of repeat. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. Blah, 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 blah. Proceed to the right and up the stairs. We come to a staircase going up and a firm-looking set of doors on the left. No, that was the vault, I think. Proceed ahead to the stairs. With Kid in the lead, we ascend a narrow staircase. I nearly slip and fall on one of the damp stairs, bracing myself against the cold walls. I keep on climbing. We come to the cold, stoic-looking door, waiting for us silently atop the staircase. Enter, or head back down the stairs. Enter. It is the torture chamber, I think. I look up, remembering the deadly ceiling. I'm definitely not going to repeat the mistake of overstaying my welcome here, especially after hearing what Riddle had to say. Thrust the sword into the floor. Okay, the ceiling will stop, and after removing a stone from the wall, you'll find the Acacian ring. Okay. Somewhere inside this room, there has to be something that will bring that old man back, but what? Just as I thought, Magil says dryly, examining the cracks in the floor. Kid and I walk over, kneeling down where he's at. Between the cracks between the floor stones, there is a thick, smelly butter-like substance that's been jammed into it, among the stains of blood. Without warning, the door suddenly slams shut, like before. It started again. Okay, what will we do? Shove the stone into the floor. We have to use the sword somehow, Kid yells, her voice almost inaudible thanks to the ceiling's deafening screeching. But how? Thrust the sword into the ceiling, into the floor, or into Kid. With as much power as I can muster, I lift the heavy sword up and plunge it down into a crack in the center of the floor. A huge jolt runs through the room. Bolts of light scatter in all four directions from the sword, running along the floor then up the walls. Reaching the ceiling, the deadly contraption groans and then comes to a halt. Exhausted and relieved, I collapse to the floor. After a minute, I catch my breath and open my eyes. Strange. Now that I take another look at the inscription we found earlier, there's a certain stone just beside it that doesn't seem to have any cement around it. We walk over to it. Kit tugs on it and finds that it's loose. Removing the heavy stone, a dim glistening light can be seen from far within the hole. Kit reaches in and carefully removes the shimmering object. A beautifully decorated gold ring sits in the palm of her hand. It's adorned with a slender set of leaves, like those of a fern, decorated with 5 small rubies around it. The Acacian coat of arms, Magil says. Kit tries the ring on, but strangely enough it doesn't seem to fit on any of her fingers. This ring must mean something to the old man. We could use it to break through his wall, couldn't we? I excitedly ask Magil, already knowing the answer. He nods in silence. Yeah, this has to be it. Abandoning the Einlanzer, who now proudly standing upright like a beacon of light amidst this dismal room, we hurry out of the torture chamber, hopefully never to return again. So I think I have to head back towards the terrace now. Past the terrace, to the fork, down the stairs again. No, I have to head to the ballroom first, okay? I haven't been there yet. At the bottom of the staircase, a quite sturdy-looking door stands on the right. Ignore it. I'm speeding things up. Proceed on through the hallway. Proceed on ahead. Okay, I haven't been there yet. We continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. Enter. This seems to be Viper Manor's ballroom. Beautiful decorative ornaments rest on a large table in the center of this huge hall. Rows of huge pillars are lined up on both sides, adorned with sculptures of birds and various other animals. At the far end of the room sits a gigantic organ, taking up the entirety of the wall. Its pitch black aura beckons us. A countless number of candles provide a sort of flickering luminescence to the room. Everything around us shimmers in the dim candlelight. Various portraits have been hung high up on the walls, depicting all sorts of well-dressed people. From what I can gather, they are high-quality oil paintings. They all have a similar sort of morbid gaze in their eyes, though. Who could these be? Lynx's relatives, maybe? Of these, a portrait of a young lady in a pink dress catches my eye. Wait, what was that? I swear she looked at me just then. Come on, Serge. Time to put away the ghost stories. It's just my imagination acting up again, I tell myself. It was probably a trick of light caused by a flickering candle or something. The oil's glossy finish distorted the image for a second or two. Yeah, that's what happened. But I don't know. This room's bloody strange. Kid sees it too. She has to have seen it. I suggest we look elsewhere, Magil says suddenly. Kid and I offer no objections. Okay. Suddenly, a blood-curdling screech cut through the darkness. Scared stiff at the deafening sound, I look up to see 2 gigantic, maddening red eyeballs. Okay. Again? This happens again? It's a griffon. Before I can even unsheath my knife, it starts to flap its wings viciously, conjuring a tremendous gust of wind. I'm knocked clear off my feet, banging my head against the wall. Serge, you okay? My body aches from head to toe. I struggle to ignore the pain as I hastily get back up. I bend down to grab the knife, etc., etc. It's like before. Well, jump out of the way. Ah, he's easily large enough to reach me. It thrusts its head at me, boring its beak into my chest. Okay, that's not the right thing to do in this case, I suppose. Hit the deck. The griffon swoops down, aiming its razor-sharp talons directly for me. And I tried to duck, but it only allowed the horrid claws to dig into my back. Okay, that's not it. Ram it. I start sprinting towards the griffon, hoping to bash it with all my weight. As I come in close, it swings at me with one of its claws. I guess I'm gonna be hurt no matter what I do. Pulling my shirt down and over the wound, I try to ignore the pain and regain my focus. Okay, there's no winning. Unless I have to pick faster, jump out of the way. Not a moment too soon. Okay, you have to react immediately, I guess. I barely miss a swing from one of the griffon's log-like legs. Attack, I guess. Seeing its fate, the griffon desperately recoils, leaving me with nothing but a fumble attack. It then swings at me, eager to defend itself. I accidentally slip and fall to the ground. I hear Kit shout suddenly. She vaults over my shoulders from behind. Alright, she's landed a powerful jump kick on the side of the griffon's neck. Its head snaps backwards, letting loose a terrifying howl. Madly rambling around, the griffon's fiery gaze suddenly zeroes in on me, angrier than ever. Jump out of the way, quick! He's easily large enough to reach me. Oh, pfft. It's completely random anyway. I swing madly at the vicious creature, hoping to release me from its excruciating grip. I land a blow on its head, and it releases me as I'm thrown backwards onto the floor, rubbing my wound. I grit my teeth and ready myself for an attack. Trying to break free from that ferocious, visceral gaze. Attack! I don't know. Okay, it reels back in pain. I back away as I watch the blood starts to gush from the wound. I hastily fix my stance, ready for another attack within moments. Quickly switching my knife to a backhand grip, I swing. Okay, a weak spot. The griffon starts to slowly move in on me, one step at a time, but then suddenly it stops. With a blank look in its eyes, it stumbles a bit and then comes crashing to the ground with a huge thud. Can I have a potion again like before, please? That'd be nice. You're not that bad, mate. I've seen worse hangovers than how you look right now. Right. I can't get a I can't get a potion this time. No. Okay, well, I won't be lucky twice, I guess. We leave the ballroom, heading back through the passageway. After a bit of walking, we come to a three-way split in the path. To the right is a set of stairs leading down, while a narrow passageway on the left leads off into darkness. Take the stairs. So I have to get through the atrium and to the catacombs. The archway on the left. Continue on. The catacombs. Now that we have the ring to snap the old man out of his misery. After a bit of walking, we come to an old-looking door with a brass handle. No matter how many times I return here, I don't think I'll ever get any more used to this place. Go in. We return to the old man. Magill walks up to the cell and grasps the iron bars. He positions his feet and starts to pull away at the bars with an incredible intensity. After a moment, the bars start to bend like taffy. Magill enters first through the newly created opening. Kit follows, kneeling down before the mumbling old man. Putting her hands on the old man's shoulder, Kit tries to look into his eyes, but he continues to stare at the floor. Frustrated, she starts to shout at him, shaking him vigorously. "Come on, old fella, get up!" The old man's head shakes back and forth like a rag doll's, but his eyes remain averted. Safe state. Okay, I have to try to stop her. No matter what I do, he'll mistake Kit for Riddell. Okay. Do not worry, Magill says. This may also prove to be helpful. But is it right to force him out of his wall for our own sake? The fate of the Acacia Dragoons has been woven into our own, Magill answers simply. And with that, just as Magill says the word Acacia, a glimmer streaks into the old man's eyes. He looks up quickly, apparently waiting for something. Oh man, he's been hearing us talk the entire time. Quick, kid, show him the ring. Kid takes the ring from her pocket and shows it to the man. The ring, he says in a voice so quiet it's barely audible. However, his eyes quickly return to their murky state. Finally, my allies, you have returned. Because of me, the frozen flame was seized, and I have desecrated the name of the Acacia Dragoons. I am the only one left. But you have returned. Merkid, Zorander. Now that we are once again reunited, let us all head back to Stake Lake? Stake Lake? Not sure. Geez, listen, mister, the frozen flame, where is it? Any small hint will help. Come on. Frozen flame? The old man asks. A warm smile streaks across his face. My dear Miss Riddell, I have not seen you in quite some time. Surely you have not forgotten the secret entranceway. That reminds me a scene of of Stargate SG-1, where Merlin mistakes the SG-1 team for his old pals. The other guy says, "Looks like Merlin's drawbridge doesn't reach all the way across the moat anymore, if you catch my meaning." That's kind of what happens here. Yeah, you think you could tell me about that again, Gramps? Kid asks, trying to sound as ladylike as possible. In the ballroom, third candlestick on the left. Kid hugs the old man, ecstatic, and so he resumes his mumbling in that distant, shuddering voice. "Please forgive me, for your father. I beg you, Riddell. To Dragoons. It's high time for you to bust on out of here, old man," Kit says, pointing to the bent iron bars. However, he once again refuses to look up. "Come on, we've done all we can do here. He's got to walk through these bars himself." "Thanks, old-timer." Heading away from the catacombs, we eventually come to a split. Turning right heads back to the atrium, while proceeding straight through will take us to a downward staircase. Wait, what? Let's go through the atrium then. Okay, and then up the stairs again. After that. Okay. Continue on. Okay, take the stairs up. And then towards the ballroom. I follow Kid up the narrow set of stairs, hoping not to lose my balance. We've ascended the staircase. In front of us, path extends in 3 directions. To the left lies a dark corridor, and the right path leads out to the terrace. This path also continues on ahead. Head left towards the ballroom. We continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. This is the ballroom. Enter. Okay, let's save here again. Oh, wait. Oh, there was something else optional that I could have done. Can I do it without having to... yeah, but now that I saved here, I don't know if that's going to be possible. Well, we'll see. A countless number of candles spectacularly illuminate this huge room. An old-fashioned grandfather clock stands on the right, ticking away with a morbid stillness. I step into the center of the hall, looking upwards at the old canvases shimmering in the low light. Okay, third one on the left, Kid says quietly. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. A As Kit slowly pushes against the candlestick, it starts to move slowly. What's going on? I stammer, trying to brace myself. This entire room is slowly sinking into the ground, Magil says. The ballroom is sinking? All of it? Suddenly, the room starts to fall much faster. Chills run down my spine as I look around, seeing the paintings smacking against the walls and the candles dropping to the floor. As I start to get used to the sinking sensation, my heart fills with a violent mixture of anxiety, expectation, and hope. What awaits us at the bottom? The frozen flame. Could it really be down here? Is this our adventure's end? What if we actually take it into our hands? Kid, Magil, I wonder what they're feeling right now. As the room continues to sink underground like an elevator to hell, I start to hear Kid speak in a soft, meek voice. Sometimes, I do struggle to win, even when I know I've already lost, just like that lady said. Why do I do that? Looking over at her, I realize this isn't the Kid I usually see. There, a faint, shy smile can be seen across her face. Suddenly, I feel something so powerful go through me, it feels like a wave of fire surging through my heart. Why bring us here, Kid? Is it fate? Hold on. Quick menu. Yeah, let's save state. What do I have to say to this? Don't worry, we can't lose, there's no hope. I think the first one is more interesting. Fate? Life? I don't even know anymore, but with links, nothing is set in stone. But sometimes it feels like there's something inside me, guiding me, no matter what I do. It won't matter because I know it'll be showing me what to do next. Bah, what am I saying? Crazy talk, Kid says, smiling faintly. I don't know what to feel hearing this. Kids always put on a strong face no matter what, seemingly embracing terror when it comes. But right now, I can't help but feel the weight of the situation bearing down on us. If you take these matters with a grain of salt, like Kit seems to, it's easy to live a day-to-day life, like she does. As I look in her face, that strange expression of hers relieves me. I'm sorry. All this talk, it ain't me, Kit says, scrunching her nose. Instantly returning to her serious gaze, she says, but thanks, Serge, Magil. Thanks for coming here. Because of this, maybe down the road I'll have another chance. Huh? Nothing. Forget it, Kit says as she closes her eyes, smiling. As usual, she sends me into deep thought. While only barely visible, Magil stands silently amidst the shadows, effortlessly balanced with closed eyes. As I look around at my companions, I wonder what awaits us. We share a calm silence in our hearts as we continue to descend far below ground. Suddenly, a metallic grinding sound can be heard from all around us. The room comes to a stop, swaying a bit. Guess this is our stop, Kid says with a hollow laugh. I stand motionless, staring at Kid and Magil in the dim, flickering luminescence. Suddenly, the organ comes to life. Looking back towards the monstrous thing, no one is even near it. Nevertheless, it continues to play its strange, twisted tune. The keys and pedals moving wildly on their own. Sounds like a funeral march. Heh, just kidding. Bad joke, Kid. Alright, let's do this, Kid says, taking a deep breath as she heads for the door. I glance at Magil, nodding my head as we follow her out. It's a funeral march, alright. Lynx's, that is. We start down the long, dark path in front of us. The air down here carries a thick stench of death. Somewhere further down this passageway, Lynx's subterranean hideout awaits. Kit's got a strange look on her face. I can't imagine what must be going through her head right now. Magil, on the other hand, I can never read him. But still, we usually talk a little, lightening things up. But right now, nobody's making a sound. I tried to offer some conversation, hoping to avoid the increasing tension. So what really is this frozen flame thing? Why are we after the frozen flame? Well, I guess we can ask what it is. No response. Just as I start to think no one is going to answer, Magil starts to speak, his low voice echoing throughout the stone corridor. It was said to be a gem which soothes all scars, granting eternal life to its owner, or so people believed. The frozen flame is more than just an object. It's not of this world. It descended from the heavens long ago, part of a huge meteorite. Once there lived a people who sought to harness its power, hoping to tap into their yet unknown potential, and so it became a treasure of great importance and dreams. It's Lavos, the meteorite, and the people are the people of the Zeal Kingdom, or Zel? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And Magus was a kid living in this kingdom. In 12,000 BC was the year. However, whether a gift which bestows power is actually a blessing or a curse is another question altogether. Since the birth of humanity, at least one entire race has fallen because of it. These people once built a great, thriving metropolis with its power, but now all knowledge of this era has been completely lost within the sands of time. A faint feeling of distress comes across Magel's voice throughout his speech, and because of Lavos, he was stolen from his own time era and forced to live in the Middle Ages. But then, how do you know about all this, I ask? Again, no answer. Keeping silent, I continue walking. Our footsteps once again become the only sound filling this dark path. Well, whether any of that's true or not, it'll all lead us to the same place. Say your prayers, Lynx. We're coming for ya. That's all I know, and that's plenty. The frozen flame. What in the world could Lynx see in that mysterious rock? Flooded with thoughts, I pause for a moment to take a deep breath and calm myself. Continuing on for a moment later, I feel as though I'm a bit more at peace. Suddenly, Magil comes to a stop. Do not move. Huh? Kid and I look around suspiciously. Around us, bones are scattered in all directions. Many of them have been cut cleanly in half. Okay, if this is a fight, maybe I should save before that. Looking around more amidst the dim light, I start to see that the walls have been splattered with blood. Then suddenly a trace of light catches my eye from behind. There's a bolt of electricity approaching us, sparkling like a lit fuse on the ground. Coming within a few feet of us, the spark splits off into two, forming a circle around us. Once the circle is complete, an odd glow starts to shine at our feet. Then from where the sparks are traced, light shoots upwards, forming a wall of light all around us. It's a devil circle! We try to move, but we find ourselves caught within the rays of light. With the scalding, noisy winds whirling all around us, all I see are rays of shimmering light in every direction I look. What do? I can't see anything in all this light. Magil grabs me by the shoulder and returns me to the center of the circle. Thankfully, he seems to be able to see just fine. His mask is probably shielding his eyes from the radiance. There is always a way out of a devil's circle. We must find the gaps to walk through. And these are the directions that the Griffon gave me earlier, the one I spared. If you say so. Suddenly, Kit's elbow grazes one of the walls. Sparks scatter in all directions. She instantly snaps her arm back, wincing in pain. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I hesitantly start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. 2 steps to the left. Take 3 steps to the left. Take 2 steps to the right. The first one was 3 steps to the right. Come on, to the right a little. There. Come on now. From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. Holding my breath, I leap into it with my arms shielding my face. Alright, we made it through. However, I open my eyes only to see even more of these glimmering walls swirling before us. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I hesitantly start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. 2 steps left. We've got to go to the left a little. There! Come on, now! From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. And same thing as before. Alright, we made it through! However, I open my eyes only to see even more of these glimmering walls swirling before us. 2 steps to the right now. the right, slowly. There, come on, now. From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. Holding my breath, I leap into it with my arms shielding my face. And... I scurry away from the blood-curdling thing as fast as I can. Looking back, I see it vanish in a puff of smoke, just as quickly as it arrived. The wind instantly dies down as well, and all the dust and grime that was blowing around falls back to the floor in a flash. Everything has returned to a quiet stillness. Too quiet. And so, heading down the hallway further and further, eventually... At last, Kit steps towards the mighty set of doors, letting out a sigh of relief. Beyond this door, the frozen flame. From behind his mask, Magil's eyes let loose a cool radiance. Okay, let's go, Kit says, eagerly grasping the handle. Hold on, save. Wah! This cavern sprawls out to great length before our eyes, a forgotten world, hidden deep below ground, and with a scarlet radiance, a single small gem shimmers in the darkness. The frozen flame. Finally, we're here! The jewel shimmers warmly, almost as if it's responding to Kit's voice. Taking a few steps into the moist cavern, Magil whispers, "Remarkable, intact ruins of the lost magical kingdom." Say its name! Just as I start to ask Magil what he means, a taunting laugh can be heard from high above us. Lynx! Kit immediately pulls out her knife and hurls it through the air with all her might. As it approaches Lynx, he easily swats it out of the way, almost too quickly for me to see. Always the same, such a savage little girl. Can't you give a gentleman an honest greeting? You bastard! Kit interrupts. And what if we hear? The notorious Shadow Walker. I wouldn't be trying anything like last time if I were you. Beside me, I see Magil come to a stop. Lord Lynx, Viper Manor's deadly owner. The very same man who murdered Kit's sister, deceived Riddle's father, and eradicated the Acacia Dragoons. Welcome back, kid. I see you have successfully taken the bait, gluttonous as ever. What? Kit says hesitantly, taking a step back. Lynx stares down at her with those frighteningly piercing eyes of his. You see, kid, I brought you here because of the rock you carry. Which rock? Surely you remember. The one you received from your sister all those years ago? The priceless keepsake you carry with you dearly even now? The Chrono Trigger! How'd you know about that? Kit's gaze returns to his cowl. No matter, we're here for the frozen flame. You're finished, you bastard! Ah yes, toss your little threats around, but remember, no matter how many times you think you have won, I have generously demonstrated how gravely you are mistaken. And with that, Lynx unsheathes a beautiful golden saber. Previously, I've overlooked doing away with you, letting you scurry on with your pathetic little life. However, this time, I may not be so generous. Kit takes another step back, glaring at Lynx as he approaches. Ah, yeah, the fight music here is awesome. Lynx, you murderer! I'll never forgive you for Luca! This ends here and now! And so Kit leaps into the air in a fit of rage, aiming at a kick between Lynx's eyes. However, just as she reaches him, he swiftly dodges. Kit stands there, wondering how she could have missed. Beside her, Lynx laughs, taunting her. Jumping up once again, Kit lets loose a fierce kick. Skimming the tip of its nose, her kick cuts through nothing but air. In a parry attack, Lynx sends his razor-sharp golden saber through the air. But Kit's already leapt back. The two face each other, only a few feet apart. If only you had been a bit faster, Kit, Lynx says, smiling. All of a sudden, a line of red streaks across Kit's face. Kid! Wiping off the blood, Kit angrily rushes Lynx in a flash through the air. Effortlessly dodging, Lynx drives the sword into her back as soon as she lands. Kit bends back in alarming pain. Somehow staying on her feet, she stumbles back and readies herself to charge again. Stupid little brat! Lynx lands an elbow onto Kid's shoulder, knocking her clear down to the ground. I feel her pain from the pit of my stomach as I start to see blood trickling from her lips. Help her! What's wrong, little girl? Once again, Kid tries to lash out at Lynx, but he easily kicks her, sending her back onto a pile of rubble. Lynx then looks upward, focusing its concentration on the ceiling. As I look up, I see a number of rocks have come dislodged. Kid! I need something for my throat. It's really hurting right now. I call out as I start to rush over to her. However, just as soon as I start to do, I see Magil's already there. He streaked across the shadows, putting himself between Lynx and Kid. Saying nothing, Lynx shoots a thread of white light out of his fingertips. The thread-like substance entangles Magil, binding his feet together. He hits the ground with a thud. In a dazzling radiance, a countless number of threads fly out from Lynx's fingertips. They immobilize Magil completely, leaving only his head visible. How does that feel, Shadow Walker? Have you felt my web start to drain your life energy yet? Lynx says, smiling ominously. Grrr! Kid, Magil, what am I going to do? Okay, I have to make a quick decision here. Send them to Lynx. I look over to Lynx and fearlessly start running towards him. However, Lynx instantly sees me and takes a quick swing. Immediately dodging, the sword barely misses my shoulder. Shit! Just like Kid, he's unknowingly managed to slice into me. Young man, spare yourself and give up now. He strangles me with his long, disgusting fingers. Urgh! Then he starts to lift me up by my neck. Struggling for air, I painfully hang there, unable to tear myself free of his powerful grip. Look, Kid. Look at your pathetic little companion suffering. You can make this all stop if you want. With blood dripping from her lips, Kid opens one of her eyes, painfully gasping and coughing. She lifts her head up to us. She still wants to get up, but she's hurt far too badly. Surge! Hand over the chrono trigger, Kid. Little do you know, but that rock is actually a tiny condensed universe. When combined with the frozen flame, it gains the power to bend space-time, allowing its owner to reshape history. This all could have never happened if you merely wish it. Saying this, Lynx looks up towards me expressionless. And what about you, young man? Perhaps you know where the chrono trigger is? He asks, tightening his grip. Surge! What are you going to do, Kid? Can you afford to let this little boy die without helping? How would it feel to have his blood on your hands? As Lynx grasps tighter and tighter, I find myself starting to lose it. Lynx's face becomes a blur. Suddenly, Kid's voice snaps me back to attention. I'm sorry, Surge. What should I do? Don't give it to him. Do what he wants, Kid. Okay, don't give it to him. Don't do it, my consciousness. Fading. Stop! The stone! Here! Lynx looks over to Kid. His eyes light up as his hands loosen around my neck. Abandoning me, Lynx rushes over to her side. Here it is, Lynx. Kid reaches into her pocket. Lynx draws closer. Despite being drained of nearly all strength, Kid manages to whip her knife out, fiercely slashing out at Lynx. Screaming viciously, Lynx falls back, cradling his mangled face. Blood starts to trickle down from between his fingers. You! Lynx staggers to his feet, keeping his right hand on the wound. I will have such fun killing you all! With as much power as she can muster, Kid kicks at Lynx, sweeping him off his feet. Ah! Spitting blood, Kid coughs a little, but still a smile manages to come through her agony. Kid! I run over towards her, still feeling the burning grip on my neck. Lynx turns to Kid, staring at her with his cold, evil gaze. Child, you shall beg for death soon enough. Every flavor of pain shall be yours. Prepare to join Luca. Hearing this, Kid's eyes slowly open and catch sight of Lynx. A red-hot gaze burns in her eyes. Slowly she rises to her feet. A shimmering light suddenly spurts out of the frozen flame. At the same time, a golden light bursts out of Kit's chest. Swirling around her, the light rises up, spreading outward in a glistening spiral. What is this? Lynx gasps. Kit's voice calls out from deep within the shower of light. You will not win, Lynx! She trembles, her eyes flowing with red tears. And then a single voice can be heard. It's a deep, profound voice, the voice of undeniable honesty and truth. Long ago, in a far-off kingdom, lived a girl. Scala? Because of her power, the kingdom had come to an end, crumbling under its own weight. Many became engulfed in the temporal vortex that was created, never to be heard from again, including Magil or Magus. But not the girl. She lived on, enduring a much sadder fate. Running from her past and fearing her future, she wanted nothing more than to be swallowed up in the surging waves of the vortex of time. Hating what she'd done, refusing what she'd said or heard. To simply continue living was her curse. But the stone, it had other plans for her. Turning back the hands of her clock, scattering her memories, she was granted another chance. Since the precious stone was in her possession, she carried with her all its will and power. And so, she was born into this era, returning to reality as a mere infant. So Kid is Scala then? And with that, the fragments of the shattered chrono trigger fall to the ground softly. The cavern before us slowly starts to come apart, bending inward and outwards like a tear in reality until we are completely removed from its existence. A single girl's voice resounds in the darkness. Please, this dark energy, make it stop. Losing all sense of reality and presence, I became engulfed in this realm, drifting aimlessly through the ages. The world flows, time dissolves, and people live and die. I can see it all within this mysterious ocean. The origin of time. Every one of life's tranquilities is here. I can see myself as a baby crying at my mother's side, where she gives a warm, proud grin. I can see myself as an old man, softly smiling, knowing that death will come soon. Infinite versions of myself extend like ghosts throughout this endless corridor of time. Everywhere I look, I see another life, another era. In this unfolded existence, I see countless lives and countless dreams. Haste resting in eternity. A kind voice calls out to me. A single song. Kid! Kid! Can you hear my voice? Kid? Answer me, kid. Please. Who? Who's calling my name? Serge? Where is this? Kid, you're here! That song, that beautiful song, it was Luca's favorite. Kid softly smiles, closing her eyes. I can see she can't help but shed a few tears for this long-lost reminiscence. This song is actually something I composed in my earlier years, back when I was a musician. Kid seems to be very fond of it. You called out to me, Serge. You called my name. Thank you. You won't leave me, will you? I'm here for you, kid. It all makes so much sense now. I know who I am, Serge. I know what I'm here for. Let's go back now, okay? I'm ready. Urgh! Lynx has pinned Kid to the ground. We're back in time. And now you see your death. What do I do? Square off with Lynx. What do I do? Protect Kid. Lynx will have to get through me if he wants to get Kid. Oh, would I get to put you both out of your misery at once? Lynx raises a saber overhead, ready to plunge it into us. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Quickly turning my head, I look in the direction of the voice. You! There, under a large hood, stands the old woman from before. So Vera, looks like poor couldn't keep their hands out of this after all, says Lynx flatly. Good to see you again, Master Lynx. Seems you've seen better days. The old lady, she's from Poor? The frozen flame. We will take custody of it now. It seems none of you can decide on who the rightful owner should be. The old lady gives a small signal and dozens of armed troops rush out from behind her, securing the cavern. I will not forget this, Vera, Lynx shouts, floating up into the air. Brimming with hatred, Lynx's glance turns to us. And you will see death by my hand. Saying this, Lynx vanishes into thin air. The soldiers untie Magil and start heading towards us. The old woman gazes down on us from under her hood. I believe you all ought to come with us. Looking up, I notice the armed soldiers have swarmed around us with their weapons ready. Seeing this, Magil instantly waves his hands in the air, calling out some sort of incantation. Darkness! Envelop under my command! Suddenly, all light in the cavern is put out. It's now or never! Quickly, Serge! I grab onto Magil, who's holding Kid. Together we flee the cavern, vanishing into the darkness. Led by Magil, we make our way out of the mansion. Back in the forest, we see the search party's torches here and there, hunting for us. Their militant barking can be heard as they continue to get closer and closer to us. We stop behind a tree for a moment or two, catching our breath. I look down to Kit, who's taken quite a beating. Are you okay? Yeah, mate. Fine. We're completely surrounded, says Magil. We must be on our way. Looking around, I suddenly see torches all around us, starting to close in. Kit suddenly lifts her head up. Go, Serge. Save yourself. The troop is only after Magil and me. If they find you alone, they'll let you go. What are you talking about? I can't leave you now. Not like this. I told you I'll be fine, mate. But... Don't worry. I remember now, Serge, who I used to be long ago, she says, staring up into the night sky. Seeing the reflection of 100,000 stars in her eyes, I can't help but be taken in by that lonely one-in-a-million expression of hers. Kid, don't worry, I'm okay. I'll see you again, she says with a smile. Someday, I know I'll see you again, without a doubt. She softly closes her eyes. Lucas' chrono trigger was lost. We couldn't even get our hand on the frozen flame. But it's okay. It's all okay because tonight in my heart, a shiny new treasure was born, Serge. The single most valuable unstealable treasure in the entire world. Saying this, Kit stares at me firmly. Oh crap, it was not typed incorrectly, I think. Saying this, Kid stares at me firmly with those eyes of hers. Those bold, straight, honest eyes. Knowing who I am, it's bigger than all this. Bigger than Lynx. Bigger than the frozen flame. And nothing can take that away. Not as long as I'm alive. At this moment, listening to her under the starry night sky, I find myself wanting nothing more than to be here with her right now. Staring into her eyes, I only wish time could stop right at this instant. Goodbye, Serge. Thank you. And with that, Kid turns her back to me and disappears into the darkness. Kid! Don't follow me, please, don't follow me. Unable to control my feelings, I start to rush after her. However, a shadow abruptly blocks my path. It's Magil. He slowly shakes his head, a sorrowful look in his eyes. With that, his shadowy figure draws back, dissolving into the darkness. Magil? Kid? Kid. Kid. And so, the curtain closes on another tale. However, another time, after the spotlight had faded from Kid, Magil, and Riddell, in another place and another time, a similar band of adventurers had come forth, equally unsuspecting of their other selves, and life went on as they strode out into the great unknown. But that's a story for another day. For now, I shall put down my pen. Yeah, because... well, hold on. As I softly close my grandfather's diary, I hear my mother's voice call to me from downstairs. Didn't you hear me? Your friend is here. I turn around, already knowing who it is. My door opens quite energetically, where I see a strangely nostalgic young girl barge in. Serge, we found some ruins of an old mansion up in the northern Kitsune forest today. Come on, let's go exploring. Show us. Who is it in the picture? Ah, yeah, there we go. And that was Radical Dreamers. Now, at this point, normally the game, you can replay the game, and then there is a whole lot of weird stories, like with different outcomes that you can play through. I think there was one with aliens. There was one. I can't remember all the different stuff that you can get from those other stories because I never played them myself. I was only interested in the canon story, so to speak. But anyway, so that was Radical Dreamers, the pseudo sequel to Chrono Trigger, or side story. I guess it has, at the end of the day, very little to do with it, but I still find it quite interesting, and it's a change from other types of games that I could stream, I guess. Something that is only a narrative, I guess. My poor throat, though. Gonna have another one of these. After the credits are done rolling, I guess I could play a bit more other games, I guess, but not this one though. I will interrupt the stream and start it back up again, and I'll play I don't know what exactly. Haven't decided. Yeah, this was never actually officially translated. Director Masato Kato. The script writer of I think he is the script writer for Xenoblade Chronicles as well, actually, come to think of it. I know he did Baden Kaitos, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and I think Xenoblade as well. No, never mind. He had nothing to do with this one specifically. By the way, did the chat work in the end? No, it never did. Okay, that's one of the 7 endings, I guess, or 7 stories you can play through. And what, you're thrust back to the... Yeah, you're thrust back to the title screen. Anyway, I'll stop the stream very briefly and then start it again. I'll just change the stream info, I guess. Retro. All right. Okay, I'll stop it right here and I'll be right back.